What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Slack Adjusters. I'm one half of the Slack Adjusters, Mr. Tim Motivates, and I got my player partner with me, Mr. Salim Motivates.
Slavery world, baby. Well, we back with it. What's
We're
up?
changing your name, buddy. We're changing your name. Nobody calls you that, but you're a motivator. We need to be cohesive with it,
Okay.
Salim.
Okay. Brothers in arms. I got you. Shaleem motivates it is. What we talking about today, Tim?
Man, we're talking about trailers. Recently, you told me that you've been getting some experience with new owner operators coming into the business, and I guess as an independent guy, fresh from a company position, they just bought a truck and they're just really trying to get on wherever they can, but they're not doing the proper research on what type of trailers they should be hauling, what type of trucking they should get into. Well,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on that, Salim?
Well, as you see from the title, the best trailer for owner operators, right? And that could be companies, fleets, or whatever. So the money's made with the trailer. Okay, all trucks are the same in the sense that they have wheels and they go down the road and they haul the freight. Now, what kind of freight will be determined by what type of trailer that you have. So I thought it'd be a good idea to get out here and put a video out speaking to that point. If you've been in, let's say, for instance, driving all your life, you've never experienced any other type of trailer, then you might be limiting yourself. You might find that you like RGNs better, flatbeds better, tanker better. It might suit how you like to roll. So this video is to talk about a little bit about the different types of trailers. You've seen them running down the road, but you don't know what they haul. You don't know what it takes. So I'll give my opinion on it. You'll give your opinion on it. We'll go through it. What do you think?
I say let's do it. I'm excited to give my little 2 cent.
Yeah. So let's start off by talking about uh, one of the worst ones that I'm like, and I hate to jump it off like that, but I have to be real with you. Uh, one of my most least favorite containers. What are your thoughts on it? I'll let you go first.
Well, I think the container is usually the cheat code for a lot of guys once they buy a truck. It seems like those guys are always hiring out of the rail yards here in the local Atlanta area. They're always hiring out of the ports, and a lot of guys they buy a truck and they forget about the trailer part. Some guys just buy a truck and don't have a clue. And the containers, man,
Right.
I know a lot of people, and I'm sure you do too, that bought a truck, and the first thing they did, the first company they hauled for was a company that hauled trailers, those container trailers that we're looking at, out of the ports or out of the rail ports, out of the train yards and stuff like that. They call it intermodal, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So based off
Yeah.
of what I hear, those things are really heavy. Um, they beat your truck up.
I like.
You like what?
No, go ahead. Finish up, man.
Another thing is I hear it's a raw deal. Like you grab one of those trailers, it's already on a chassis, but the chassis might have bald tires or a flat, and then they got to call somebody to come, fix the flat or whatever. Or you might notice a tire don't look too great, and you get 30 miles up the road and you pop a tire. Well, now that's your tire to fix. I've heard a lot of horror stories about containers, and I'm glad I did because I never decided to go that route.
Yeah. Look, like you said, it lends to what? Being home every day, easy pick up and drop off, and take the trailer container back, and you're done, right? But yeah, you deal with the chassis issue, the tire issue. Um, they say it's extremely heavy. What I mean, weight is weight, no matter what you're hauling. I've hauled some of the heaviest trailers I hauled was for Kroger loads, groceries. It was a heavy trailer. So I don't like to. I've learned that that's not a real issue. It's the
Hmm.
going to the rail yards, going in and out of rail yards, going in and out of ports, finding the correct um, finding a chassis with good tires, and then they don't pay well. They typically don't pay well. To me, I put it at the bottom of the barrel. I put it at the bottom of the barrel when it comes down, the bottom of the list when it comes to if you want to be an owner operator, you want to jump out here. That's my opinion on that one.
Yeah.
Well,
Just to
yeah,
wrap up my thoughts on that, I hear that if those guys make $2,500 in a week, that was a good week to them. That's
oh
not
yeah,
really a
Lord,
good week to us.
oh Lord. Moving on, next one, reefer trailers. Um, Thoughts?
Refrigerated trailers. When someone speaks about a reefer trailer, they're not talking about the green stuff that people like to smoke on and you smell while you're in Atlanta traffic. They're talking about refrigerated
Absolutely.
trailers. They're talking about the box with the little box on the front end of the trailer that makes it
Hmm.
sound like it got a big old engine on it because it does.
Hmm.
Um, if you look at the video, the guy's about to open the trailer and you see all that cold air coming out of there. So refrigerated trailer historically paid really well. Um, I used to hear about guys talking about, man, you can make some good money hauling refrigerated, and it doubles as a dry van if the refrigeration stuff gets slow. Um,
True.
so you can always haul two different type of freights versus with the dry van, which we'll get to in a second. You can only haul one type, a few types of freight, nothing refrigerated. So in my opinion, when I have done those refrigerated loads, which was power only for the Krogers and stuff like that, or just as a LTL driver going to those places, you talk to those guys, man, they've been sitting there all day. They missed their appointments by 5 minutes. They got to wait 5 hours to get worked in, and even when they get worked in, it might take another 5 hours to get unloaded. You never hear about these guys getting in and out. And I guess that's why historically they've always demanded higher pay. But over the last 3 years or so, within this trucking recession, I've been hearing horror stories about these refrigerated rates, and I don't hear it's getting much better, Salim.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you something like that right now. Uh, for me, I'm not a big fan of it. Why? Okay, couple points. You have another engine to deal with, another motor to deal with, right?
Mm-hmm.
More fuel to deal with. The trailers are expensive to repair. If I punch a hole in almost any other trailer, okay, we can keep moving, getting through the load. You punch a hole in this trailer, you immediately gotta get it fixed, right? And as we know, forklift drivers don't give us two craps about our trailers, right? All
Yeah.
right. Uh, so and like I said, added fuel costs, added repairs, added maintenance. Also, if you're hauling a load of ice cream, your reefer trailer breaks down. That ice cream melts. You just purchased how much money worth of ice cream. It's all on you now, right? That's a huge claim. With all that being said, the rates don't pay. It's not like the load pays that much better than like a dry van. Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
If I haul a load of a dry van load from Atlanta to Knoxville, Tennessee, sake of argument, that load paid $800. How much should that pay a load of ice cream pay from Atlanta to Knoxville, in your opinion?
Atlanta, Knoxville.
If a dry van paid eight, how much should a load of ice cream pay?
It should pay about 1,200.
15 to me. I mean, your cost is astronomical. The insurance is gonna be more. Your cargo goes up, right? The risk goes up,
Yeah.
right? The wait times are astronomical almost every time.
Yeah.
It's got to be a lot better. And it costs got to, and it just doesn't do it for me. I'm not a fan of it.
Can I add one more thing?
Sure.
We live in the great state of Georgia, and we are the home of the chickens. I hear when you haul that chicken, these guys got to get that stuff. You got to get your trailer rinsed out, cleaned out at a truck wash
Hmm.
after hauling that product and other products. So that's another
Right.
lost
Oh
time, lost
Lord, yes,
revenue.
that's right. Clean out.
Because I mean, I don't know when last time you guys been to a Blue Beacon I mean, if you go on during the day at any time, those things are backed up, and it don't take 5 minutes to clean out those trailers. Those guys gonna be in there for a while. So
Yes,
those
sir.
are my final thoughts on reefer. I'm not a fan.
Here's the old classic dry van, right? Thoughts
Oh,
on the dry
sookie,
van.
sookie
Tell me what you
now.
think.
Sookie, sookie now.
Yeah, yeah,
Ooh, look at
yeah,
that thing. That thing got them, what, low pro 22 fives on there.
yeah.
Come on. The white
Mm-hmm.
rims. Ooh,
Clean,
look at that rail. Ooh, look at that
clean,
rail. Okay. Yeah.
brand spanking new,
Okay.
no rust.
Yeah. So look, when it comes to
Everything
dry
was right.
van, that's pretty much the standard out here in the trucking industry. Everything that you bought, people, it came on a truck, and it probably came on that truck, that type of truck there. So it's more dry vans on the road than any other type of trailers. Very popular. Um, if you get a dry van, you're gonna find some work. Is it gonna be the best paying work? Are you gonna get unloaded the quickest? Are you not going to have 30 other truckers trying to get that same load you're trying to book? This is what I think about when I think about dry vans. And so many of my friends, starting with my buddy Salim, jumped out there in a dry van. And, Salim, I like to credit Salim for just being able to pivot pretty quickly. How long were you in your dry van, Salim?
A year,
Okay,
maybe,
okay,
maybe.
yeah. Um, Salim and another friend of ours, D Shaw. They were like, the crash dummies for me, and I say that with all due respect because when I was so excited and happy for them because they were out there testing the market and testing different types of trucking, and eventually they all got to the dry van side, and Salim said, "No, sir, no gracias," pretty quickly, and I liked his reasons. Too long of waits. Um, there was just Celine. You speak to it. You're more experienced than I am in the dry
Yeah.
van.
No, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, let's talk about some things that drive me crazy. One, if they puncture a hole in the roof will leak all the day, every day.
Lord
You're
of
out of the
mercy.
game, right? You pull up, you got a little hole in your roof. Yes, exactly. See, so you pull up, you back up to your trailer's wet. Sir, we can't load this trailer, right? So they can punch a hole in your trailer, you not even know it. Now you're losing money, and it's common. You punch a hole in the floor. One time I had a load of sugar or some it was a sugar product, and they check it. They make sure there's no holes in the floor. I mean, I can't. They're not supposed to even see sunlight. You know what I mean? And he saw that. He refused. He almost refused the trailer. Okay, that was that. Here's another issue. The dry van, like you said, is the most common trailer out there. Anybody could do it. You know, a 72-year-old, 120-pound woman could be driving a dry van. You see what I'm saying? And she could be
Yep.
good at it, right? But I can't, so everybody's doing it. Anybody can do it, right?
Yep.
Um, it's not hard, and it's the most common thing out there. So, my saying, the more specialized, the more money, right?
Yes,
So,
sir.
uh, driving like you said earlier, anybody can jump in it, anybody can do it. You can always make money, but is it for me? No, no, I don't think so.
Can
I
you
don't think
speak to
so.
the different types of dry vans out there? Because what we're looking at on the screen is a swing door dry van. You got dry vans with the roll up doors. I hear something about these plated trailers. They say if you want to buy a dry van, it needs to be plated. Can you speak to that for the guys out there that don't know?
I like now. We were cut from this roll up doors. It just makes it easier to get in and out, right?
Yep.
Um, uh, when you back up to the dock, they roll that puppy up, but
Mm-hmm.
the swing doors make the entrance wider, right? The roll up door is not as wide of an entrance, so there's pros and cons with that. Um, um, and you lose a little room inside the headroom with that with the systems for the roll up. tracks and everything.
Right.
It's a different style. Plated. Um, I'm drawing a blank right now with the plated situation. I can't remember right now. I try to
All right.
forget about that kind of stuff. Tell
So
me about it. You tell
what
me.
I got from what I get from the plated trailers, there's like really the walls are blank. Um, there's no wood on the walls. It's just metal, and you got E tracks for you to hook up like your straps or your load bars and stuff too. It just gives
Oh
the
yeah, like
trailer
sheet and post. Yeah, 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 yeah,
right, and
yeah.
it gives the customer more room on the walls to work with. There's no rub rails or anything on the
Yeah,
inside of the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
trailers, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
102.
know
102. Yeah.
we hear the term in trucking a lot, high and tight. They want to get the most bang for their bucks when they load these trailers. So they want to take up every inch of trailer room. So I hear that you want a plated trailer with E tracks in it, so that they can load these trailers high, tight. They want to take up every little bit of space in these things so that they can load their highest freight, put as much material and goods in there, and send you on your way. Just something to
Okay.
think about when you
Good.
guys are purchasing a dry van, because we know you are. Well, you probably watching this like, man, these guys some haters.
Oh, sucky now. Oh, Lordy.
All right, what we
What do
got
we
here,
have here,
Salim?
Tim?
Well, I was gonna ask you. Look like we
We got the
got,
good old,
huh?
whoop, good old skateboard. Long as a skateboard, the old flatbed,
Sound the
man.
alarm,
What the
Salim.
hell,
Sound the alarm.
man? Why you scared me with that one, man? But hey,
I
man, it's good old
did.
flatbed. It's our bread and butter. It's our, it's what we love to do every day, man.
Man,
Flatbed. What's
I had to
tell us
blow
what's
the
the pros
whistle
and
on
cons of
that one,
flatbed?
man. I had to blow the whistle on
Uh-huh.
that one because
Yeah.
one thing I'm very grateful for, Salim, is you getting me fresh out of coming from a company driver into the flatbed. You went out there and tested the waters. Again, you was my friend that was a crash dummy out there, making all the mistakes so I wouldn't have to, buddy. And you know, man, I'm so grateful I went flatbed because, as you can see, it's a workout doing this job, man. You gotta. I wouldn't recommend jumping on the trailer like this guy's doing it, um, because you can tell he's a young man. He's probably a former basketball player, probably 6'2", 6'5". This ain't nothing to him, but them knees gonna give out pretty soon, guys. There's a way to get on
Ooh,
and off these
knees be
trailers.
gone.
Yeah,
Right,
he
right.
probably, depending on when this video was filmed, he's not doing that anymore. Um,
He
but
stopped that quick, did he?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's something else. But on a serious note, what I like about flatbed guys is, man, for the most part, it's simple freight. This guy's not loading up coil right now. He's loading up pipe. Um, he's basically, you're in and out for the most part. For a flatbed driver, if you're waiting anywhere for 30 minutes, you're pissed off. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? 30
Mm-hmm.
minutes. For the average
Yep.
dry van or reefer guy, 30 minutes, if you're waiting 30 minutes somewhere and they say, "Hey buddy, we're about to start on you." They out there celebrating. They doing the Tootsie Roll and everything, you know?
Tootsie
Um,
roll. Yes.
but we get loaded quickly. We don't have to haul a lot of different crazy stuff to hang off the trailer, and um, that's require a lot of chains and binders. There's so many different type of freight you can haul with flatbed. That's standard. That is easy to learn. And what I like, what one thing I did like about flatbed when I jumped out here was it was so many guys that was willing to help when you go to these shippers and receivers. Like, hey man, you need help with that tarp job? Look like you're doing it wrong. Like, actually, I do. Um, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man, it's not very hard. It's common sense. If you're tightening up your straps, you could kind of tell if it's tight or if it's loose, right? You could kind of tell if it's
Yep.
damaging the freight, as you tighten it up. Um, I could go all day, Salim. I just love flatbed. The money is always better. A bunch of our friends speak a bunch of our friends are still in the dry van region or the dry van space, and I don't care how bad trucking gets, our rates is always better for them to run the same miles or less miles. And we're in and out. I got a buddy of mine who, we might get to the yard. Um, we might get to the yard in the morning at the same time, and I'm done for the day, and he's still out there. You know, and it sucks. We're local, if you guys haven't noticed that already, but flatbed is the way to go to me. If you're not afraid to work, if you're not afraid to, get out there and work up a sweat or freeze your butt off or get rained on. Come on, son.
Flatbed is yeah. Listen, a couple of things I like about flatbed and step deck. They want to. It's better referred to as open deck, okay? Because like you say, you got flatbed, step deck. There's other kind of configurations, right? So, but like you said, you're gonna. I like the energy. I like the in and out times. I like um, I like the ability. I like working. I like staying moving, staying active, right? Um, they're outside too, loading your equipment. They want to get it loaded and get out of there. Drive-in, reefer, they're having fun. They're hanging out inside the warehouse. You can't see
Hmm.
what they're doing. They're taking their time, right? They're vaping, right? They're doing all kind of other things. They're hanging out. They're making YouTube skits. They're not what they're not doing. They're not loading the truck.
Yeah,
Driving, I mean, flatbed, they're on the stage. We see what they're doing. We see what they're not doing. They want to get out the elements. They want to get your stuff loaded and get out of there. And a lot of people who load drive in, I mean, flatbed on outside, they enjoy what they do. Look at that
yeah,
guy driving that equipment. You see what I'm saying? Some people really enjoy it. So it's a little more active. It's a little more involved. We go on construction sites. You see more things. Yeah, we do tarp. You do. It lends to the younger crowd and uh, healthy and athletic people who can get it done and who's willing to get out here and do the work. Everybody's not willing to do this, can't do this,
yep,
right? So what does that do? That makes you more of a commodity, right? They're looking for us. We're not looking for them. We turn down freight more often than most people because not that we want to turn down, it's just that we can't do it. There's more options for us. All these things lend to one to be in the flatbed space. Now, I'm not trying to encourage y'all to get out the flatbed, get into the flatbed space. I want you out of it. More money for me. You get what I'm saying? Like, do not
yeah,
come out here. Stay away from it. Stay in the container space. Stay in the dry van space. Stay in the reefer space. Leave this to the real head busters. You see what I'm saying? Because this is where the real money's at, right? Now until it rains.
Until it
The
rains,
rain is
y'all
our
come on
Achilles
in and
heel.
pick up the slack, right? Um,
Yeah, but guess what we can do though? We can drop our trailer. We can drop our trailer. We can uh we can drop our trailer. We can do some power only stuff, right? We can go
yeah.
get in that space. You can't come in our space. You see what I'm saying? You can't
Hmm.
come in our space. We're in your space. So yeah, this is really close to the top of my list, if not number one, number two. You see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
love it, and I can't see myself doing anything else.
All
So,
right.
yeah. Boy, that
I
one touched my
concur. I
soul right there.
concur. I see that, buddy.
What's
It
the
took
next
you a
one?
while to get crunked up, but I'm glad you
We
I'm
there
glad
now.
you.
We
Yeah,
there now.
yeah. Here we go. Where we at now? We got the tanker yankers.
We got the tankers. We got them tankers. So, uh, tankers is a very specialized uh trailer, right? Speak to it.
All right. So for all the scaredy cats out there who are afraid of driving a bomb, because that's what a lot of these old heads and some of the young heads call it. When they see a tanker going up the road with a flammable placard or any type of hazardous placard on the back, they say, "I ain't about to drive no bomb. Man, I don't
Hmm.
care how much. You can't pay me enough to drive a bomb." How many
Hmm.
times you hear about these doggone tankers flipping over and exploding? Don't get me wrong.
Almost never.
There's some videos you can find out there, but it almost never happened. It's like a plane coming falling out of the sky. These companies hire some of the safest drivers out there, and these companies have some of the most strenuous safety training. They doing safety training probably once every 48 hours.
Yep.
Sending, and that's as an owner operator or a company driver. I just
Yep.
recently hired a tanker driver back in August of 24, and I sent him some training material. He was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this before." I'm like, "Where you seeing this at?" Oh yeah, my company
Mm-hmm.
gave us access to the portal, and we would have to do these safety trainings on our own and turn it into them every 3 months. And he was the owner operator with this company. I think he left a tanker company called Action, and he was with them for maybe 5 to 6 years or so. But he's a great driver, safe. Uh, this guy doesn't get in a hurry. So when it comes to, as let's say you're an owner operator, you just bought a truck, you want to get into tanker. You're not just walking into a tanker company and getting hired, guys. You got to be coming from a fuel hauling company, or a company that does both hazmat and tankers, like the Univars of the world, the Brentags of the world, Colonial. I don't know if you guys remember, but we had a buddy named Brandon that was on our podcast in one of our earlier videos. He had the nice Chevelle. We did the video with, and if y'all haven't seen that video, maybe I'll link it in the description. But Brandon, he's one of those guys. If he wanted to buy a truck right now and haul for a tanker company, that as an owner operator, they'll hire him right away. So if this is something you guys are interested in, just know that based off what I'm hearing, the pay is great. They're not as busy as
Mm-hmm.
they were once was, but it's so specialized, and there's so many different types of tankers out there, and so many different type of chemicals. The video that we're watching here, that's a food grade trailer. If you look at the back of his trailer, it says food grade. So there's oil. They haul like cooking oils, different type of greases, and different type of water, all type of stuff. It's not just all hazardous, guys, but it's specialized. You got to be able to know how to drive these trucks, and not hit the brakes hard or anything like that. Got to have your tanker endorsement. Got to have your hazardous material. You got to have at least, I want to say, maybe 5 years of safe driving experience. I got hired as at a hazmat company before I bought my first truck, and I believe they wanted you to be over 28 years old.
Oh
Just
Lord.
to even work for that company. They didn't hire no
Oh my.
spring chick. Yeah, they didn't hire no spring chickens over there. So
Mm-hmm.
these guys, and that's over 28 years old with a certain amount of experience as well. So just
Yeah.
know, when you want to get in this type of game, um, yeah, you got to be work your weight in gold, guys, and it'll pay off. There's some,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry if I'm long winded, but there's a lot of big companies out there that people would like to work for. Off the top of my head, I know of Hennif. There's a company named Hennif out there. They're all, I want to say they're at least 50-50 owner operator fleet. Um, what's the other one with the? I think they rent trailers and got their own fleet. Um, it's a bunch of them, guys. But you got to have some experience, and you got to have safe driving record, and you might have to have a gray or two in your beard.
There you
That's all
go.
I got,
Pros
Salute.
and cons for me. Pros and cons for me. Pros, like you said, very specialized, very slim market. Uh, Being an owner operator, can you jump out here as an owner operator? Yeah. Guess what? There's a lot of companies, Florida Rock and Tank. A lot of those guys haul fuel. There's owner operators hauling fuel for them, right? Like you just said, safety A1. Why don't you see a lot of tankers? You see dry vans flipped over all the time. You don't see tankers flipped over all the time because they know the risk involved with that. That's a different mindset hauling this right here. Man, I drove tankers before. I hauled fuel. I hauled diesel. Everybody got on my way as I was coming down the road, and I was doing the speed limit. Right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
different mindset driving this truck. So, but now one of the cons is like you said, you got to know how to drive that thing. These things are baffled. They need to be baffled because you're dealing with and that means that it has different partitions inside of there to stop that surge effect. I slam on brakes, that fluid is surging back and forth. It can push the truck. Uh, you know, uh, and cause accidents or whatnot, call rollovers or whatnot. So you have to be safe, man. Every day you have to be on your A game. Okay. Uh, it's very, very, very important. So I can go drop off some fuel at one place with a full tank, and then I got half a tank of fuel. That's a more dangerous vehicle versus it being fully packed and fully loaded, right? You have
Yep.
to be A1. You have to be the creme de la creme of drivers out here, right? You cannot be, fresh out of school, fresh out of Swift truck driving. You have to be A1, right? And they won't hire certain people. I like it. I like it being specialized. How likely is it for you to start your own tanker company as an owner operator? That's something that's good to look into. But if you really about this life, you really about trying to take your bread to the next level, look into tankers, see how that can fit into you as an owner operator. Those things aren't cheap. But if you ever get plugged in, woo woo wee. But you better do it right. Okay?
Woo
You
woo
better do
woo.
it right. You better do it right. Look, man, we about to hit a heavy hitter right now. Okay, we about to hit a heavy hitter. Okay,
About to
we
hit a
about to
heavy
be
hitter.
with a heavy hitter. RGN, removable goosenecks, right? Low boys.
Yeah.
Man, listen to me. This is not no game right here. Tell me about it, Tim.
Man, I wish I knew a whole
Speak
lot
to it.
about it. Wish I knew a whole lot about it, but what I will say is these guys, they are really out here monkey footing the game, okay? I hear that they've been affected by the market as well. But one thing about these guys, they're specialized in a way that you're not, no matter how bad the market gets, you got to pay like it weighs. You know what I
Mm,
mean? A lot of times these
mm-mm.
loads, as you can see, they're wide loads. They're gonna have some overhang. They might be over length. Um, if you look at the truck that you got to have to haul this type of stuff, that's not your. It's not a Freightliner Columbia pulling that doggone piece of equipment right there. That's it's not gonna be your 10 speed transmission and
Mm-mm.
regular Detroit DD15 pulling those type of loads. These guys, I hear that they average a little bit over $4 a mile for the loads that they haul, and hear them tell it, they'll probably laugh at that number.
Ooh.
These guys, the trailer alone is upwards to $140,000 sometimes. That trailer we're looking at in this video, I believe I was watching another guy. I think he said he spent 140,000 for a 2001. He
Mm.
made, and he was
2001 or
I'm
2021?
sorry, 21.
Oh
2021. Thank you
Lord.
for correcting me. 140 grand, guys. And he said he bought it from a guy who bought it brand new for a little bit over 100 and paid it off in a year.
Mm-hmm.
He paid the trailer off in a year, guys. So that what does that tell you? These are higher paying loads. Of course, you got to have some type of experience getting out there. You got to get some training. I don't really know many guys that haul like this. We got a mutual friend named Bob. Bob, if you're watching, we need you on the podcast, buddy. Bob does what we call landall or dovetail type trailer. Some of the smaller equipment. Some of those are wide loads. Some of those are, your smaller versions of that same type of tractor right there. Your bobcats, your what do you call them, backhoes and stuff like that. Different type of outdoor construction material you can haul with this type of stuff, and that stuff just pays better than your average freight because you got to know how to chain it, which is securement, low securement. You got to know what permits to do. The clearance, of course, you can see how low these things sit to the ground. Another name for RGNs is what, Salim?
Removal go. Oh, removal gooseneck. Or
Low
you talking about
boy.
low
They call
boy?
them
Yeah,
low
low boy.
boy.
Yeah.
So you see those signs at railroad tracks, guys. Those signs are for these guys
Yeah.
because you can't just drive these things over, the railroad tracks like we drive over them. These guys gotta route their when they get a load, they gotta plan their route specifically for their particular equipment. So in order to do that type of stuff, you gotta pay, man. The lows gotta pay, and I just take my hat off to these guys. I don't like riding beside them. I don't like riding beside any trucks, but when I do ride beside them, I just respect and I notice how confident these guys are. You don't see the truck swaying like this or anything like that. These guys are driving in a straight line, and you better move out their way because they're trying to keep their momentum. You know what I mean? They're usually hauling butt. It don't matter if they got what do you call the cars that ride in front and back of them?
A
Celine?
pilot car, a pilot car.
Yeah, it don't matter if they got a pilot car or not. These guys have got somewhere to go. They're all about their money. They're all about safety. But these guys, they're like the big dogs. I put them in cattle haulers, and like
Ooh.
I put them in like, okay, I'm gonna just put my blinker light on and get out their way or try to get past them.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't getting past no cattle hauler. Let me just put that out of my little Detroit 60 series. They get past them cattle haulers, but I give them the same respect because these guys, they are on a mission. They're usually veterans in the game, and they planned their routes. They got some time sensitive material slash freight on there, and they're they just, I think they're real truckers, man. What do
All
you
right,
think, Salim?
give me the mic. Give me the mic. Listen,
Mic drop.
this is my thing right here, man. This is my this is my dream trailer to jump into one day. And I've weighed the pros and cons of it. I've kind of got stuck in what I'm doing. I like what I'm doing, but this would be the next move. Look, RGN, removable goosenecks. Listen, look at that thing right there, man. That is super specialized, right? Everybody can't do that. Everybody won't do that. The equipment is expensive. The your ability to haul it, just detaching from that trailer and reattaching to that trailer takes skill.
Precision.
You have to know how to do that. That's not easy. Look, then what's the next step? You got to load. A lot of times you got to load that equipment on there without flipping that trailer, without flipping uh that excavator over. If you don't load it correctly, that's and it flips over or falls off. Claim,
Yeah.
right? That's huge. You have to know what you're doing. You got to pay for that. But if you can pull this off, like you said, the clearance, you have to, you got to know that. You got to know your route. Am I going under bridges? I'm going under tree limbs. You come over under a tree limb, and you nick the top of that hydraulic hose that are on top of that boom right there. You claim. It's a lot of things you got to think about when you're picking up that equipment. Does it have debris in it? You got to scrape the debris off of it. You can't have rocks bouncing out of that equipment. That's something. It's a lot involved with this. Your low securement got to be A1. This is not a plaything, right? But if you can pull it off, you get the big bucks. You see what I'm saying? Now here's about being more specialized. It's not as much work out there as let's say dry van or containers.
Right.
But if you lock in, it's fun. It's similar to a flatbed. You're out in the elements. You're moving and shaking and baking, man. I love it. So I like that aspect of it. Um, you know, People are calling you and begging you versus you calling them and begging them. That's how I like to move. Okay. Um, when it rains, you're very limited. It's not just equipment either. There's structures, right? There's machinery, like you might have air conditioning units on there. You could put whatever you want on there. You can put boxes, crates. It's still an open deck piece of equipment. If they load it with a forklift, unload it. So, but you have to be specialized. You have to be on your game. You have to know you can't go over railroad tracks. You can't go over speed bump, too many bumps.
Curves.
You can't jump curves. You have to plan your route. You're going to move a little slower, but when you get, like I said, but these guys ain't in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? These guys aren't in a hurry. They know what they got. They know what they got. They know what they're dealing with, and they never. I've never seen one of these guys complain about money. But can you get in it? Can you make it work? Will somebody trust you with their $200,000 piece of equipment? So yes, I put this one at the top of the list. I love it. It's my dream piece of equipment to play with, and maybe one day, you know. One day
Salim,
we'll
you
be
don't
out
want to
there.
drive trucks no more. Keep it real,
Hmm?
bro. You
Hmm?
don't want to drive trucks no more.
Why you say that?
When the last time you been inside a truck, Salim, and pulled a load?
Wait, what?
Huh?
Uh,
Huh? Sorry, say what?
Listen, man, I know what a truck looks like. Listen, it's not necessarily about me getting in the truck. Like I said, we empower people to do this, so I can make this work for them. You see what I'm saying? I can buy a trailer and
Talk
let
that
it.
talk.
Yeah, someone is willing to hook up to it, and we go out there. We make our dreams come true.
Talk
There's
that
many
talk.
there's many ways to get it
We're
done.
talking to a boss right now. Salim, that was a light flex. Let
Yeah,
me flex on
yeah, no,
Salim.
no, no, no.
Salim, like, yeah, I ain't got to be the one behind the
No,
wheel. I
no,
could buy the
no.
equipment and give somebody else opportunity.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
make that happen. We can make it work, and
Yeah.
we can make all of our dreams come true. And essentially that's what we've been doing all this time. So we can make guys' dreams come true. We can make it work, but it's got to be the right fit for both of us. I gotta have a what they say, a world beater before I put this. If I make that move, you got to be bossed up, and you got to have the right truck. What would you say, 500 to 550 plus horsepower?
More than
Um,
that, I hear the X15's got 600 horsepower.
I mean, you don't have to be a six. I'd say 500 to 550. Maybe he don't even have a triaxle on there. Sometimes you might have that triaxle. Just depending on what's going on, and how heavy you're trying to get. But man, we could just stay in that little lane right there. A little 50 RGN. Man, we get out there, we make that work, man. And just play with it. Even the dovetail, the Landals, I like to play around with that. Running for someone like Sunbelt or Yellow, Cat or any of those kind of guys.
United Rentals.
Yeah, see, we can get out there and rock with them. It's not hard. You just gotta know what you're doing, and you can't play with it. It's not some. I get a lot of guys that come out here and they get very motivated, but they're not in the zone. Like I can see them a mile coming. They get real uh, excited, but then they be the first one to make mistakes. You know what I mean? You gotta be a world beater, but you gotta be relaxed, chilled. You know what I mean? And know, because it's all about safety right here, right? You just gotta be on your game. But hey, I got an honorable mention. We don't have a veto for it. You kind of said something, and I wish we would have had a veto queued up for it. But cattle, man, I forgot all about the cattle haulers. That's a whole different level, man. Do you remember when they first implemented the ELDs?
Yeah,
They had exemption over everybody. No
they
one had an
did.
exemption like the cattle haulers. Cattle
They,
haulers get away with murder.
they still do. They still got exemption, don't they?
Probably do. They run how they want to run, where they want to run.
Livestock cannot be pinned all together for an extended amount of time, and they have to drive a certain speed so that the air can circulate through the
Yeah.
trailers to keep those cattle from overheating. So
Wow.
these dudes, the reason why they're running 80 plus is
Those boys be running, boy, and with the nicest equipment.
it's not just because they're trying to keep the cattle, trying to get them there the fastest. They're
They're
trying
trying
to
to
keep
keep it
them.
cool.
They're trying to keep them cool, trying to keep them alive, and as under as little stress as possible. And
Damn.
that's why they run at night as well. It's a lot cooler at night. Um, I hear that it's a terrible life to live being a cattle hauler
Why?
because of the night driving. A lot of times these guys they run out with the cattle. Sometimes it's 10 hours straight, nonstop, bro. And a lot of times they got to get back. They got to get back, man. These guys are taking all type of energy drinks and stuff to keep themselves awake. And one thing you don't see on the side of the road either is some daggone cattle trucks flipped over.
You
These
don't
guys
see
are
them flipped over,
professional.
yeah. You don't see them flipped over. You don't see them broke down. You don't see them hanging around nowhere. All you see them on that road burning rubber.
If you see them in your mirror, get the hell out the way.
Get
That's
the
all
hell
I'm
out
gonna
the way.
say.
Oh, and you don't see them in no piece of crap truck, right? They're always in the nicest equipment. That truck got to be moving. So, man, I wonder how much that load pays.
Well, we gotta get one of these guys on the podcast. Everybody, if we missed anything, or if there's anything that you guys disagree with that we said today, please leave it in the comments. Challenge us, educate us, let us know what y'all think. If y'all know anybody who does RGN, cattle hauling, tanker, whatever we spoke about today, and they want to get on the podcast and talk to us about it, hit us up at Top Rope. What's the email?
TopRowMedia@gmail.com.
TopRowMedia@gmail.com. Myself or Salim will reply, and we'll schedule a time to get you on, schedule a call, and see if you will mesh well for the podcast. And that's really all I got. Oh yeah, y'all see that I got Metro Trailer hat on, man. Me and Salim both are customers of Metro Trailers. We do business with them. A lot of the trailers we spoke about today outside of Tanker, they will rent out to you if you got like 2 years of authority and a couple dollars in your pocket for a deposit. Some of the nicest people, some of the most professional people, and these guys are big for a reason. It's because they do good business, and they will help your business grow. So this is a shameless plug. We're not getting paid for this. I hope that they see this and just know that they got one happy customer here, and
2 happy customers.
that's what I said. I didn't say 2.
No, you said 1.
Well, where's your hat at? Okay, we're gonna get Salim a hat, Metro.
Look me up, man. Look your boy up, man. Show a little love.
I actually picked up a trailer a few weeks ago, and I jokingly said, "Hey, can I get a hat?" He was like, "Hold on," and he just went back there and gave me a hat.
Let's go.
I was ready to rent 2 more trailers just from that, just from a little hat, man. They do good business over there. So if y'all in the Atlanta, Alabama area, man, I think they got some locations in Alabama as well. Holler at those good people over there. That's all I got for today, Salim.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend, pass the link on to someone. Keep this thing going so we can keep it going, man.
Yes, sir. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Peace.